The Clerk's release. Brian was a meticulous man, a clerical worker whose world was composed of ledgers, deadlines, and the crushing weight of his own anxiety. He feared sin and error in equal measure. Every misplaced decimal, every forgotten signature felt like a moral failing, a tiny crack in his soul that God was surely scrutinizing. His hands would tremble as he balanced accounts, the guilt over past mistakes, both professional and personal, a constant, heavy shroud. What if I missed a transaction? What if I made an unforgivable mistake? He lived in the shadow of punishment. One evening, while reading, his eyes fell upon the stark, powerful words, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear involves punishment, and the one who fears is not perfected in love." He reread the verses, his heart catching. Then came the accompanying message, explaining that this perfect love was the love of God, the same love that sent Jesus Christ as a propitiation for their sins. The core truth struck him with the force of revelation. God's love was not conditional upon his flawless performance, but was an act of grace. Justified by faith, we have peace with God. The love of God has been poured out in our hearts. It wasn't his endless, fearful striving that saved him. It was the finished work of Christ which brought peace. The fear of punishment, the root of his endless guilt, began to dissolve.
He was already saved.
He was already justified. He was abiding in God's love, and that love was perfect, meaning it had already cast out his fear. The next morning, Brian sat at his desk. The files still needed to be checked, the columns still needed to be balanced, but the internal terror was gone. He was still meticulous, but now he worked not from a place of fearful self-condemnation, but from a place of peace and gratitude. The love that had been poured into his heart by the Holy Spirit was his new motivation. He could now make a mistake, acknowledge it, correct it, and move on, knowing his worth and his standing with God were secured by something far greater than his own perfect penmanship. The freedom felt like the first breath of clean air after a long storm.